Hey, welcome everybody to a special edition of RümpChät. Before we bring in the Big Bear and our special guest, I just want to say a big thank you to Pendleton Whiskey, who has come on board again and has been a great partner, the fastest growing whiskey brand in the United States, which is awesome. And so, with all further ado, back to popular demand is the one and only. Whoop, wrong slide.
Yeah, good to you, Bronco.
There he is. JR, good to see you.
Time for RümpChät. We are live right here, Abbyville, Kansas, Reno County, one of the most best pro rodeos in all the PRCA.
The most best. Listen, kids, on how to not talk.
It is the most best, probably. We got studio audience from Abbyville, Kansas. Everybody make a little noise. So we are in Rodeo, Abbyville. I changed it right there, like Rodeo Houston, Rodeo Corpus, Rodeo Austin.
Yeah.
It is Rodeo Abbyville weekend, and this is the time when one of our most famous guests, Bronc Rumford, he shines like a diamond in the night during rodeo week of Abbyville.
Bronco, first of all, good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you, Hambone. You're looking good, buddy.
I'm telling you, it's so good to hear your voice. Everybody, you know, when we made that post today, like, hey, we got a special guest, and you know, Rumps and Abbyville, any guesses? And everybody's like, Bronco, please be Bronc, let it be Bronc. We want to hear Bronc. So, you are by far the favorite guest we've ever had on RümpChät, and that's saying a lot because we've had.
It's like Bronc,
yes,
darling, the one-armed bandit.
Bob Tallman, Donnie Gay,
yeah.
No big deal. So anyway, so Abbyville, Kansas, hometown of the Rumfords there. How long have you been a part of that rodeo, Rump?
Well, I'm 69 now, and I think I've only been part of it 65 years.
Wow.
But
So you're
part of it because it's a cool deal. Sorry.
This rodeo started a bullfighter, a clown that we had years ago, Pinky Busey.
Oh, Pinky.
Do you remember Pinky?
No.
Well, yeah, he's way before your time. Anyhow, Pinky was a promoter, a little bit in the line of rump shake here, but he wanted to do a rodeo here in Abbyville, and everybody told him it wouldn't work. And his dad, Pinky's dad, gave him $5 to start the rodeo, and everybody told him, including my dad, told him it wouldn't work. But he took that $5, and you know, I think this is the 64th annual. I don't know. It's been a long time, but anyhow, it has really went to the top. It's a great rodeo. It's a small rodeo, but it's a great rodeo.
Well, and that's a lot of the best rodeos, all small rodeos. You know, they don't get a lot of attention, but at the same time, for guys like Rump and I, they can be our favorite rodeos. You know, there's not a lot of pressure and all that stuff, and especially being hometown. I mean,
There's pressure.
Yeah, pressure to not suck, right?
Well, but here's the thing: like when we talk about small town rodeos, that could be several things. Some people say that Cave Creek, Arizona is a small town rodeo. Okay. Some people say Sydney, Iowa is a small town rodeo. Some people say Marysville, California is a small town. But when we say small town, Abbyville, we're sitting with probably 10% of the population. We're at my brother's house, Ty Rumford's house, right here in Abbyville, Kansas.
Ty Rump.
We're in a town of probably 115 people.
No, 103.
103. We had a couple deaths, I guess. I don't know.
Did you haul him off in a minivan, Bronc?
He will. He will. But like our town is small. Like when Abbyville doesn't have a Casey's, that's how small it is.
Oh, we need to remedy that.
We don't have a Dollar General.
We have a co-op.
We have a co-op where you can buy candy bars and pops, and like not even like Coca-Cola. But
Yeah.
Off like you don't get Mountain Dew, you get like Mountain Thunder.
Yeah.
Like it's all the knockoff stuff for 50 cents a can.
RC Cola.
Yeah, Abbyville is very.
It is RC Cola.
It's very rural. It's even more rural than Ponca City. Like when we talk about Abbyville, Kansas, like there's nothing high tech in Abbyville. That's why we're at my brother's house, who in the history of Abbyville was founded in 1929. This is the first place that has Wi-Fi. From 1929.
That's not a joke.
I bet not.
We have a church, a co-op, a post office, and that old guy that welds shit.
John Lewis.
Yeah, you know, I drove. I didn't get to drive through Abbyville, but I drove by when I used to go to Pretty Prairie, which is just down the street, and it's the same way there. You know, they have the co-op there, which I think you still have a running tab there. Is that correct?
No. I paid the tab.
Did you ever pay that up?
No, but after Scott Stroll's daughter got married and we weren't dating anymore, they relinquished my debt. You dump me, you pay for the debt. I don't know.
Yeah, well, we all, yeah. So, Bronco, tell us, you know, I mean, some Abbyville stuff. Like, what's, I mean, it's a small town. It's in the heartland of America, right there in Kansas, right in the middle of Kansas. Is that picture from you and where Uncle Tommy, you were on the ladder or something on doing a headstand on top of the horse or something?
Well, we did that one whole summer for a special act. And my dad, he come up with that idea. And, of course, Tommy and I, we never have got along real good, you know. We love each other, but we're always at each other.
People think that Uncle Tommy's fake.
Anyhow, we had a 4-foot ladder that we'd strap on the saddle of that horse. And Tommy and I'd ride Old Preacher. That was the horse's name. We'd ride in double just fast. He'd go around the arena, slide him to a stop, jerk the bridle off, throw the bridle away. Bob Jones, he'd bring in this ladder and strap it onto that saddle. And then put another ladder up to the rear of the horse. So then I'd come running and I'd go up the ladder onto the horse's hip. And then I'd go up the other ladder and stand on top of it and do a little trick roping. And Tommy, he'd run back and forth under the horse while I was doing that. Well, then the finale, I'd come down, I'd go back up and stand on my head on top of that 4-foot ladder on top of the horse. And Tommy, he'd go between the horse's front legs and out the horse's back legs. Only when he's mad at me, he'd hit that horse in the belly. The horse wouldn't move. That horse never moved his feet, but he'd just do that, just drive my neck down into my shoulders. But we did that one whole summer. I only fell off one time. That was the first time we did it at home. And it was pretty entertaining.
You know, you got that would be specialty act of the year right now. You know, if somebody did that.
Well, I don't think I
think it
can
would.
run on my head anymore, and I'm pretty sure Tommy can't run under the horse.
No, I know Tommy can't run, period. But what I'm saying is, like, if there was, you know, if Bandy and Livy and Lola did that now, it would be act of the year.
We're going to do that.
Funny thing about that, we were talking about that picture, and we shared it on, I think we put it on RümpChät or maybe the Facebook page, and it got like 1,600 likes. And people were talking about it, and I know my kids could do it, but I'm not for sure if the Nana and Ashley and maybe the other grandmas were really into it. But Dad tells me that if we go dig through the shed, we can find. He says that he's still got.
Oh, I got the ladder.
Is it Tommy's?
Yeah.
So he's still got the stuff because, like, the Rumford Ranch is like the Survey Ranch and like the Flying U. Like, if you have a piece of equipment, you keep it. No, even if you don't use it, you keep it for 70 years, just in case. So
or Steve Sutton.
Yeah, Steve Sutton. We were going to use it, but we haven't found it yet. We haven't found all the stuff. We still have the Cowboy Take Me Away ring.
We've got everything it takes to do that act. Because Bandy, I guarantee you, Bandy can stand on his head on top of that ladder. And the girls, they can run underneath the horse. But we just don't have the horse.
Yeah.
We haven't found the horse that you could trust to not move.
Which is funny because if I was young, he would let me get ran the hell over and not worry about it. Or let Ty get ran over. Like, we were disposable as kids. But now with his grandkids, he's a little weird about, you know, the injuries that happen
Cares.
when
The risk. It's the risk factor.
Yeah.
Because they're precious and he genuinely loves them.
But I will tell you this. Yeah. But when you think about the Abbyville Rodeo, one thing that's kind of cool is it has started so many great careers.
Yep.
When you think about it, this is people and you would never think, but Cody Webster started in Abbyville.
No way. Really? I did not know that.
Yeah. This was his third pro rodeo. And my dad got him the job, and a good friend of mine who helped Jimmy Crothers hire told me, he said, well, Bronc's not supposed to hire. I'm supposed to hire the bullfighters because I want to make sure they're good. Well, Cody Webster worked Abbyville, and 2 years later, he became the youngest bullfighter to ever work the PBR finals and the NFR in the same year.
Yep.
Dusty Tugnas started here.
Really?
Newsom.
Fergie.
Yeah, Ferg. The Ferg from RümpChät. This was one of his first rodeos in the States, and Ferg was like a member.
Two-time NFR bullfighter. People forget that Ferg, fought the NFR twice.
Yeah. And Ferg is a big part of RümpChät, as he is the guy who started this. So Ferg, we can't say enough good things about Fergie, but yeah, Ferg stayed in our guest room for, I don't know, a couple years, hanging out.
It was like one of our kids.
Ty Rumford started here. My sister, her first rodeo to secretary, 7-time PRCA Secretary of the Year, started in Abbyville. Justin McKee, 1993.
I saw that post he made. That was pretty cool. He goes, I almost brought the vest and the chaps back, and I wish he would have.
Yeah. Brandon Bates, Max Reynolds, Bert Davis,
Leon.
Max Reynolds. Really? Max? I like Max.
Adams, this is one of the first rodeos they worked years and years ago.
Leon and Vicky Adams, absolutely.
Yeah.
Will Lowe.
Wow.
Will Lowe was his first pro rodeo on his permit, was here at Abbyville, and he won the rodeo. The next week at Kingman, about 30-some miles from Abbyville, he's entered, won the rodeo, filled his permit, and has never been back. Just went up the ladder and kept going.
Yeah. I think
he started in Abbyville. And there's more that
we figured the probably the one person that hasn't been to Abbyville is the one-armed bandit.
One-armed bandit.
Really?
Keith Eisen worked this rodeo several times. Butch Slim Cooler, years ago when he was at the height of his career, worked.
Didn't he have the trampoline? He had that trampoline act, wasn't he?
Sam Gress, who's going to go down as the best freestyle bullfighter in the history. This was his first PRCA rodeo. Lance Britton. Lance Britton was here. The wonder
world champion bullfighter, Lance Britton.
Yeah, so when you think about Abbyville for a rodeo, it's a 2-perf small PRCA rodeo, but it's truly something special in what it does. It's not just night perfs. We got the parade. We used to call it the huge erection, which I thought was awesome because we used to put up this huge tent.
Absolutely.
Wasn't that my joke? Like, hey, it's time for the huge erection, but now it's like a steel building.
It's a permanent erection.
Yeah, it's a permanent erection.
We got a lot of doctors. It's been there for more than 4 hours.
But
that boy, Ty. Do you guys launch an anvil in the air?
No, we don't do that. We don't.
They do that in Pretty Prairie, and that's a true story. They literally put dynamite or something, whatever it is, underneath an anvil, and they launch it in the air and see how close they can get it to their launch point when it comes back down.
We don't do that.
We do cakes and pies. Okay.
I was the Fremont County, Iowa reserve champion pie baker twice. My brother won it. My sisters won it. They were champions. So if you need some advice on how to make a cherry pie bronc, ring me up, huh?
Exactly. But before the motorcycle jumpers, that go to a lot of rodeos now, we jumped a motorcycle into the arena one year at Abbyville when we did our extreme sport opening. And there's a lot of other funny things that happened over the years. I remember this has been quite a few years ago. The local preacher that preached at the Plum Community Church wanted to ride a bucking horse.
Oh God.
And he was a young guy, and so we built this up, and local preacher to ride bucking horse, and he did, and he rode the horse, but it bucked his hat off and his toupee.
Oh no!
And nobody. He'd preached here at the local church for several years, and nobody knew that he was bald headed, and he bucked his hat off and his hair, and there was quite a talk.
Oh, that's awesome!
If he was being dishonest to the church, so because he didn't tell them that he was bald headed, but
that is one thing about Abbyville. It's very. I'm trying to think of the words. It's very
small town. I mean, people know everything type thing.
There's never been you can't have a alcohol related barrel in the arena, right. But you can on the podcast. So don't forget Gold Buckle Super Light, always delicious and filling.
I've got it in my Pilsner glass.
So I mean, but that's cool. I respect that because it's a cool part. Like it's the rodeo's lineage because Glenna Dellenball, which is my aunt. So Floyd Rumford, my grandfather, his dad, his sister was Glenna, and she was a big part of the
WCTU.
Yeah, the chicks that smash bars with axes.
WCTU.
Yeah. Women's Christian Temperance Union.
So
crash bars. Okay,
it's been a dry rodeo.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you mean bar as in like an alcohol establishment. Like they would go in and break up kegs and and break there's whiskey bottles and stuff. I got you.
The Abbyville Rodeo is a lot like rodeos in Utah where they don't sell it, but that don't mean it ain't there.
Yeah, it's like Tallman said in Nampa, Idaho one time when I think I've told this story, I'm sure I have, but there was this one it was a non-alcoholic section, and Boyd was in the arena, and Tallman was up in the announcer stand when it was outside, and Boyd goes, "Isn't this nice here, Bob? There's a non-alcoholic section here for those who would rather not partake." And Tallman says, "Oh, kid, shows how little you know. You think that's popcorn in the Mormons, or you think the Mormons got popcorn in them brown sacks. That's just where they hide their whiskey."
Clean hide your whiskey. One other thing that's pretty cool about the Abbyville Rodeo, my brother just brought up. My grandpa Floyd, who is one of the founders of the Abbyville Rodeo and probably one of the best dudes I've ever met. Me and Bronco and Ty, we're kind of shitty, but Floyd Rumford was a good man. And he got on a bucking horse at age 72.
Wow.
He got on a bareback. And when I say he got on a bareback, I'm not saying he got on Craig at midnight, but he got on a bucking horse.
Let me tell you, my dad and I, he got on a horse every 10 years at the Abbyville Rodeo. And when he was 72, that was the 10th year, and it was time for him to get on. And everybody asked him, "Floyd, are you going to get on?" "Yeah." Well, I was rodeoing pretty hard then, and I tried to talk him out of it, and there was no talking him out of it. He was going to get on, and he picked a horse that I wouldn't have got on. I wouldn't have got on that horse by choice when I was in my 20s, let alone if I was 72. And
wow.
He was pretty skinny though. He was a little bit different than we are.
Dad?
He was thin.
Yeah, he was in good shape.
Well, I'm in good shape.
But anyhow, we went round and round. And I said, "Why in the world do you want that horse?" Because this horse bucked, and he kind of walked on his front end, and
7-11.
I mean, just no fun to be on. But the one thing about him, he went straight away, and anyhow, there was no talking him out of it. So I was picking up, and so I told him, I said, I'll stay close if you get in trouble. So he slides up there on his rig and nods his head, and that 7-11 comes out. He'd take a couple jumps, and then he'd kick straight up over his head and walk on his front end a couple times, and just no fun to get on him. And I'm not saying he made a 20-point ride, but he kept his feet in the front end, and he chopped at him for 8 seconds, And boy, I just kept getting closer and closer because I wanted to be there just as soon as the whistle. And just as soon as the whistle blew, he just bails off on his own, lands on his feet, walks back like it was nothing. We loaded all the stock, and we went to Branson, Missouri for the rodeo the next day. And Derek Clark had 7-11 the next day in the bronc riding and was 82 and won the rodeo at Branson. The horse that Floyd got on when he was 72.
That's unbelievable.
So I guess the real question is this. Bronc Rumford's 69 right now.
I'm not getting on when I'm 72.
That gives him 3 years to prepare for a bareback ride.
Well,
so, you go on RümpChät. Studio guests, hey, make a little noise. Bronco's got 3 years before he could get like his father did before. He can get on a bareback horse at age 72, and that gives me 32 years to lose weight to get ready. And that gives Ty like 40 years.
If you get 1 million downloads on this episode of RümpChät, I'll get on a bareback horse.
You heard it, everybody. 1 million downloads on this episode. Let's get it done. Well, I mean, 72 years old. That's insane. I mean, Taos Muncie, is almost that age and gets on a lot, but it's just not quite 72. That's amazing.
Johnson just won San Angelo at age 71. I mean,
let me tell you another story about Floyd. He when my dad passed away, his funeral was huge. I'm going to say there's probably 2,000 people there, and I had it at the old schoolhouse here in Abbyville, and the rest of the family, we were out front greeting the people as they come in, and this old horse trader that had come to our sale for forever and traded a lot of horses, and he walked up and he put his arm around me and he said, "Well, Bronc," he said, "I tell you," he said, "I knew this would be a big funeral." He said, "Your old daddy is as good a man as I ever met." He said, "He's a fine man. I knew it'd be a big funeral." He said, "Now you, on the other hand, you little shit," he said, "when it comes your time to go, you'll have to hire 6 people to carry you.
Oh.
There'll be all that'll be there." So what Justin is saying, my dad was a good guy, but I don't know about the offspring.
No, that's bullshit. Bronco, I'll be there. And Ty and JR. So we at least got 3.
There you go.
We'll have the
I'm halfway there.
The Bronc Rumford funeral RümpChät edition.
Oh my God.
But
only if we could stand Bronc up back in the corner or something.
Weekend at Bernie's style.
Weekend at Bernie's style.
Exactly.
But a lot of strange things happen, during rodeo week here at Abbyville. We always have to have a lot of saddle horses. We have a lot of rodeo queens come. A lot of the town kids want to ride. And so, we spend a couple of weeks trying to get all our horses gentled down, for all the people that we have to mount during the rodeo. So, a lot of strange things happen. Well, Justin, he comes up here a few days ago, and he brings Mitchell. And he stands Mitchell. Y'all know Mitchell?
Oh, yeah. Everybody knows Mitchell.
He stands old Mitchell out there in my barn, and he tells me he's there. And so when I come out of my house and I'm going to the barn about 7 o'clock every morning to start chores, well, I see Mitchell as I walk. So, I know he's not going to scare me. Well, yesterday I'm buzzing around their feet and I'm trying to think of a lot of things. I'm trying to figure out, we got to have about 15 saddle horses. And I'm trying to think, what all we're going to use, what we're going to put on, who we're going to put on what. Anyhow, I'm feeding, and I come back out of my feed alley around that corner, and I run into Mitchell, and I thought he was going to have my funeral because I thought I had a heart attack.
Yeah.
Bronco and the Morgan, come here. Morgan. So Morgan, this is Morgan. She's about to be Morgan Fry, and Morgan keeps her. She did the same thing. She got back from a barrel race, and I was actually in my camper at my dad's, and I got Mitchell in the barn, and she goes to put her horse up and walked around the corner, bumped into Mitchell, and I got a phone call, and
it was like 1 o'clock in the morning.
She was not very happy about the Mitchell. Were you?
No, I literally peed my pants.
She peed her pants, Hambone. Mitchell is times Abbyville Rodeo Week. Bronc's heart attack, her pee. What's next?
Mitchell, Shandon got quite a few victims. You know, my wife I got wet pretty hard with Shandon a few times. Shandon was very famous for that too. So, you're very well. You've got a lot of money wrapped up in mannequins.
Can I say the one thing about what he was talking about, the rodeo week? Rodeo week at the Rumford Ranch for Abbyville Rodeo. I'm going to give you a hypothetical here. If there was a bus pulled in to Abbyville on a Monday, and they said they've got 50 ladies on the bus that have never rode a horse, but they would like to be in the rodeo, and they would like to know if Bronc Rumford could find 50 horses for free that they could ride in the rodeo. Bronc Rumford would find 50 horses for these girls who he's never met and have nothing to do with the rodeo. He will find the horses or teams. Like during this week, and Ty's going to come on in a minute to talk more about all the shit that Dad does that he won't admit. But like the thing about it is, y'all know. But the thing is, like during rodeo week, Bronc Rumford will not tell anybody no. You remember the part of The Godfather at the first of The Godfather when what did he say to Marlon Brando? And you cannot refuse a favor on the day of your daughter's wedding.
Yes,
that's how it is for Bronco Rodeo Week. Ferg, you know this too because you've been here. He had Aaron Ferguson, NFR bullfighter, paint a wagon.
He did.
I know. Ferg painted a wagon. So like Bronco.
I get it. It's the hometown, bro. I'm the same way in Sydney.
So no matter what you ask, if you be like, hey Bronco, hey, we're going to drop in 3 astronauts and they're going to take a spaceship. They need to land on Main Street, and when they land, they're going to need 3 bikini models on gray mules to give them a ride around the corner. Dad goes, yeah, I know some mules. We'll talk about it. We'll take care of it. And then he'll be like, hey, Ty, go find me some mules. Like he'll sell out, like, because that's Bronco Rodeo Week. So that's okay, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You can't tell anybody no. Everybody's excited about the rodeo, so you got to keep that enthusiasm built up.
Well, exactly. It's that hometown feel. I like I said, I get it with Sydney. I mean, you do things you would never normally do, like go have fun and somewhat announce slack. I mean, normally slack is like non-existent. Unless I got to turn the sound system on. But it's the best. I mean, I'll help the guys hang signs. Well, I guess they hang and I just hang out with them and drink beer and bullshit.
But moral support, though, that's what it takes.
Yeah, exactly.
And one other cool thing is one of the old rodeo clowns, that I don't know if I've talked about on RümpChät before, but from Nickerson, Kansas.
Yep.
Over by Sterling, Kansas. Joe Hedrick, rodeo clown.
Yep.
He clowned Abbyville for several years. He's got that exotic animal farm, and I used to hang out with one of the girls that trained camels. And she
have nice toes.
I'm gonna tell you this: she wasn't the hottest thing, but she was a real camel once she did. She could handle a camel.
That is true.
One year,
enough to throw steer.
to take care of camels, but so. She shows up at the Abbyville parade, and my dad puts me on a team of horses that have barely ever been to town, and I'm going to drive them to the parade.
They have never been to town.
With 23 rodeo queens.
That's why we drove them from home to town.
Yeah, we drove these horses about 9 miles. By the time we get to the parade, my old girlfriend, her camel acts up and attacks my team, and my team runs off with all these rodeo queens. I got rodeo queens falling out the back. The camel's trying to attack me. I'm trying to keep everything civil between me and my ex-girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? Like shit was happening. Like Abbyville Rodeo Week is off the hizzy. And that's not a joke. She was good with a camel. You know that.
I can't deny that.
Ugly as sin, but hell of a camel worker.
Well, you know, Joe Hendrick, though, he was a really good rodeo clown. He's made a very good living with exotic animal farm. True story.
Largest exotic animal herd in the United States, I think.
Yeah.
Did he know the Tiger King?
Yeah, actually, he did. Yeah, they did a little dealing. Joe Exotic, which still won't email us back.
No. Yeah, he won't. We want to interview that guy, but I don't think we're not quite 2020 or Dateline. But whatever, that's his loss. So
well, actually, I would say this: they asked for money when we emailed Joe Exotic. We've had 2 guests in the history of RümpChät that have required money. One is Joe Exotic, and 2 is Uncle Tommy.
Yep.
And they both
Uncle Tommy wanted $1,500.
He still does. He's still holding out for the $1,500.
He thinks he's worth it.
Well, people think that. I mean, Rump said it earlier that Uncle Tommy's fake. Uncle Tommy's is real.
Everybody in this room knows that Uncle Tommy's real.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, we can testify that Uncle Tommy's real.
Yeah.
Speaking of family, and I think maybe, I don't know if he's got a stool in that house. We've made Ty rearrange his whole house so the lighting worked. But can he get in between you two?
Your Bronc switch spots.
Come up here,
No. Bronc's fine. Bronc's fine.
Yeah, Ty can get up.
If we got Ty, there you go.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Bronc. Well, he was on with us during the NFR. But we wanted to bring Ty back, 1, because we're using his Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And 2, that it's Abbyville and it's the Rumfords. And when you say Abbyville, you think Rumford. So,
and I gotta give a shout out to Ty here. When Bronco promises a lot, he promises a lot and then tells Ty to do what he promised, and then Ty gets in a really shitty mood. Like,
but so did you.
I don't get a shitty mood.
You did. You used
I've
to.
never got. I've even been in a bad mood for years.
bullshit.
So
hey, Hambone, this is all true. I don't say no to anybody during rodeo week in Abbyville, but the only way I get it done is because my family helps me. Now,
there you go.
They grumble, and they cuss me, and sometimes they threaten to not help, but they always do. And deep down, I think they really like it.
Of course they do.
Ty, tell us your thoughts. Okay, so this is a tell-all.
Yes, let's air it out, everybody. I want to air
Airing of grievances.
We're all 3 here. The Rumford men.
It's a lot, and it's usually at one of the most inconvenient times too. Like, you're half an hour before the rodeo starts, and there's queens, and there's contestants, and there's people, and then there's always that one kid that comes up and is like, "Hey, Bronco, got a horse I can ride?" "Yeah, sure do." "Ty."
Go saddle your good calf horse. Let this kid ride it.
Actually, so
We've had that argument this week.
So, okay.
I do have one. This is a real quick one. There's a young man that lives in Abbyville that we'll refer to. His name, we call him Mad Dog.
Mad Dog. We'll talk about Mad Dog.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Mad Dog, every year, like, you'll never see him until Abbyville shows up, and then there's Mad Dog. Well, there's this horse that my dad has that's caused a few family tiffs. And that year he said, "Well, let's take that horse in there." And I was like, "That is a terrible idea. He's going to kick somebody. He's going to pull back. No, take him in there. He'll be fine."
Oh, be a cowboy. If you're a cowboy, it'd be fine.
So old Mad Dog, he shows up about 30 minutes before the rodeo is about to start, and he wants to ride a horse. And he called his dad, Boss, need to ride a horse. "You got a horse for me, boss?" And Dad goes, "Yep, sure do. That one right there. Ty, put that bridle on him." And I was like, "Oh, no. This is not a good idea." He goes, "Yeah, it'll be all right." It's kind of muddy. It is raining and wet. And so Mad Dog, we get him set up, and he kicks this horse out into a lope, and
But before he got on, I told him, I said, now, Mad Dog, here's the thing. He's going to buck you off. He will buck you off. Didn't I tell him that?
yeah.
If he said it or not, that's a gray area.
Yeah, either way. So sure enough, Mad Dog, he takes off on this horse, and that dude bucks. And I give it to Mad Dog. He hung in there for a good 3 or 2 jumps.
It's like time when he tried to ride Broncs in high school.
Yeah. Well, anyhow, that dude comes flying back up to that mud and bucks Mad Dog off, but he bucks him off into this makeshift like tie rail we made out of T-posts and the knockoff WW panels, and about kills him. I mean, head first right in one of them T-posts. And I was so mad at Dad. And that kid, he didn't really bounce right back up, but he got up pretty mad too.
But that's his favorite story to this day.
No.
Is the time he got bucked off.
Yeah.
And that's pretty common. Like this is how Abbyville goes.
But that is so true, though, and you can verify this. My dad will not turn down a soul. If anybody wants to ride a horse in the state of Kansas, I've never been.
Well, there you go, everybody. You heard it. You heard it here. Whether you don't make it this year, everybody at Abbyville.
If I say it right now, Hambone, it does not matter because that's not going to change a thing. If someone shows up we've never met and they go, "Hey, Bronco, do you got a horse?" He will find a horse. And I don't even know where these horses or saddles come from.
It usually happens on Saturday. All these people you haven't seen since the year before show up. Bronc, I want to ride a horse through the parade. Yep, you bet. Come on, we got you. I think one year we had those horses go through the parade 15 times.
We had 3 bareback riders and 150 people in the grand entry.
Well, at least you filled your front end. Bronco, so tell me, I kind of want to get this from all 3 of you guys, but Bronco, I'll put you on the spot first. So, like me, high school age, right? Take yourself back to high school age, hometown rodeo, or college age, whatever, roundabout there. You know, what kind of shit did you get into back then? Because I've got a lot of fond memories of being young and stupid and bulletproof in Sydney, Iowa during rodeo time, because being everybody in the town knew that you're leaving, JR, but everybody in town knew that, we rodeoed and stuff. And so we were, finally got to be cool, but tell us some great memories of the hometown rodeo and maybe something you got into.
Well, I tell you, this is the honest truth. There ain't very many stories because my dad demanded we weren't overrun with helpers to do all the work. And we had to work. Now, I got in a lot of trouble a lot of other times, not during the rodeo, but when the rodeo rolled around, especially at Abbyville, we were hooked up to the grindstone. The only time I remember I did slip off with one of the cute little blonde high school girls and missed the Saturday night perf.
You missed the whole perf?
I missed the whole perf.
Not just hold on. Not just feeding. You didn't miss graining. You didn't miss haying. You didn't miss sorting. You missed the whole actual perf.
Yeah.
Was it worth it?
Yeah. Was
boy,
it?
I can't remember. It's pretty fuzzy. But,
bring back your memory.
Yeah, it was worth it. But I still get.
What do you say?
You have to play it back.
Anyhow, so that was the only really wild tale that I ever got in during the rodeo.
So what'd you guys do? Let's get into this. What did you guys do that made you miss a whole performance of your hometown rodeo?
I ain't missed shit.
I really can't.
Not you, Justin.
Do you kiss and tell?
Yeah, he's told me a lot.
If it's good.
It was good. Let's just say that.
There it is. There it is.
It was good. I didn't say no.
Hey, we know you didn't. As long as she didn't, that's all that matters. But how about what did Floyd do to you?
Okay, can I talk on that?
Oh, I got whipped.
Yeah, to miss a whole perf, unbelievable. But hey, you know
Grab
what?
your ankles and the belt came out.
That's what she said.
Might be time for a go bucket beer.
We're gonna go on the beer break. We're live. Oh,
Mercy.
Mercy.
It's
no, hold on. I want to back this up while we're talking about the old days. So Grandpa Rumford, he never drank and didn't condone it, and neither does Grandma Lola, and she's 93 and still with us and going to be at the rodeo this week. And Dad
That's awesome.
Dad tried really hard for all of us to not drink. Like, he really preached against it. And you know, I do want to say this. We are, you know, we like to drink beer and have fun, but, you know, we're a Christian family and go to church. But, you know, we're like, be real honest, we like to have some beers. We love Jesus and we love beers, you know.
Absolutely.
But Grandpa did not like beers, and he would not allow any of it. And Liesl Harris was hired for one of my grandfather's rodeos back in the 60s, and Liesl walked into the
early
arena
60s.
smoking a cigarette.
Oh no.
And
Oh
my
no.
grandma Lola Rumford came down out of the announcer stand and damn near kicked his ass.
This is a true story. It's in Liesl's book.
Is it really?
Yep.
My grandma grabbed the cigarette out of his mouth.
Well, the story goes like she grabs a cigarette and she tells Liesl about the crowd and people, you know, all the kids looking up to him and watching him smoke that cigarette. I mean, it's all in Liesl's book. He goes through the whole story, but that is 100%
And
true.
Liesl never smoked in the arena ever again.
No.
Which is pretty cool. Like, it gives me some like motivation. I love it. Hey, you know, but I'm not going to. But so Grandpa Floyd was very strict, and still to this day, he died when I was 18. But I love him to death, and I remember him. You know, I can remember everything he did and all the stuff that we did together, and with Ty and my dad and my grandpa always had a team of horses, and Remington Fry, who's with us, Bob Jones, it's his grandpa, and
Old Bob Jones.
Bob Ehrlich's grandpa, you know. And
Lovely
so
Bob Ehrlich.
those guys were all against, they did not like boozing. And Dad tried to carry that over. But when me and Jeff Rector and Ty and Sam and Cody McGee and our crew was around, like, he tried so hard to keep us from boozing. And we didn't listen. We just did what we wanted. We had a cornfield when me and Ty, I don't know how old you were.
Oh,
Probably.
you were in college. I was 12.
So Dad would tell us, you know, I don't want you boys drinking. I want you boys, while you're working, no drinking. You need to put the beer down. He'd get so mad because we'd take our beer cans and we just toss them across the yard. Like,
I still pick up beer cans.
on train.
Yeah.
Get pretty upset. So me and Ty, we'd have to go ride these horses. Like, we'd probably have like 40
head a piece a day.
We'd have 40 horses for all of us to ride. And so he'd say, just take off riding. Just go riding.
You'd go 4
Couple
mile
miles.
section.
So
But the thing is, Justin, he'd go by himself, and he had a fort. And Dad could never figure it out because he would never drink at the house. And I'd try to follow him, could never do it. But Justin would go ride 6 head of horses and come back just slam dunked. And Dad could never figure it out. He goes, I've watched you all day. You ain't drank or drunk. I don't know how you're drunk.
like, how do you get drunk with that? I'm like, so I finally told Ty, like, I'd ride through this cornfield. The corn, you know, was like
It's
10
across
foot
the
tall. And you go into this tree row, and I cleared it all out. And I had a little cooler full of beer. I had a lawn chair. I had a speaker. And so I packed I did.
Lawn chair and a tarp.
I'd go there during the day. I'd ride to that cornfield where you couldn't see me. I'd tie my horse up, and I'd slam about a 12-pack of beer and take a nap and listen to the radio in the shade, and then ride back to the ranch. And Dad'd be like,
Genius.
I don't know how you got drunk by not leaving Abbyville. I'm like, well, I'm just that good. So I'd refill it. But, Dad finally, I think he kind of gave up on it, the not drinking thing with Jeff and all of us. Because, when we got naked and ran down the streets in Iron River, Michigan.
Oh, yeah, when you went to jail?
Not even go to jail that night. Not that night.
Not that night.
They weren't. There was a lot of people not happy about it, but we didn't go to jail that
We
night.
just had that rodeo one year.
But
That's
nothing,
right.
nothing like that. So Abbyville rodeos never had really anything that wild.
There's the canoe story.
Yeah, Tom was killing me with a canoe.
Whoa.
Let's hear it. As I get into the beer.
So
Can I say one thing before you start?
No.
I was going 60 mile an hour in a canoe when I wrecked.
no, I was driving the vehicle 60 mile an hour. You were in a canoe on the back. There's a difference.
Okay, tell what happened. This was an Abbyville rodeo.
Okay,
weekend.
so this is in the year it was graduation weekend.
Yeah.
Because I just turned 18 and Abbyville was my first pro rodeo.
Yep.
So I'll tell the first part of it because this is kind of funny. So the same weekend, Abbyville, Nickerson, Hutch, all these surrounding areas have their graduation usually the same weekend as the rodeo. So I was so excited. I turned 18. I bought my permit, first pro rodeo, and we were both in the steer wrestling. And for some reason, they made it a 2-header. Any ideas? Anyway.
I can't remember.
So the first night, me and Justin are really excited because you win first and I win second. I'm like, heck yeah, first pro rodeo, win money. We're excited, and we drink a lot.
Yeah, Ty's 18. He gave me some money. I went and got 2 30-packs of Keystone Light.
And so then the next day, I had to graduate, and I drank too much, and I about didn't make my graduation. So that's how this whole got started. So then that night, after the next perf, I think I almost filled my permit, and you placed, and we were all happy and excited and partying and drinking afterwards, and there was a ton of us.
Yeah.
But as the night goes on, this idea manifests itself to steal a canoe from the scout camp.
Well, the reason I said that was this one gal at the Girl Scout camp where Dad had horses, she was always shit-talking me. And I told her when she was pretty rude. I said, you're a big talker, but we'll see how awesome you are when I come steal one of your damn canoes. And so me and this gal, this like 12-year-old chick, we had this like big beef.
So there's probably what? 12? Like there's 12 of us at our house after the rodeo. Well, about half of the group decides they're going to go steal this canoe. And that scout camp's, 8 miles away?
It doesn't matter.
So, I mean, middle of the night, too much alcohol involved. Well, about half of us decide to stay, and the other half heads out after this canoe. Well, it doesn't take very long for the other half, which I was involved in. I was against the stealing of the canoe, by the way.
Of course. Of course.
It didn't take us very long to figure out we need to tail them, and when they get out to go steal the canoe, we need to steal their vehicle. So that's what we do. We drove out however far it was to this camp, no headlights, and obviously alcohol involved. It was extremely
I crawled
irresponsible.
about a mile and a half to get this canoe.
So they go hiking into the camp to get their canoe, and
Full of Girl Scouts.
we steal their pickup. And so Justin calls in a panic. He's like, hey, we're in a jam. I go, what happened? He's like, well, we're stealing this canoe, and in the midst of stealing this canoe, someone stole Dad's truck. I go, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, we left it on the road, and someone just stole it. I'm like, well, where are you? He's like, we're at the scout camp. And I'm like, and you don't have the truck? We don't know where it went. And so we let you guys sweat it out for about half an hour.
Yeah, I was.
And so then
I'm sitting the canoe in the grass by the highway,
trying to figure out what to do. So we let him sweat it out for a while, and we come back. And at the time, I had a 99 silver Dodge that had a flatbed on it. And so everybody kind of piles into one pickup, and Justin throws this canoe on the back, and we leave. So we're going down those dirt roads, but Justin, instead of putting the canoe on like long ways and like sitting on the
Put it in sideways.
Justin put it on there sideways.
Oh my God.
Well, it's dark, and we're not driving with any headlights on for some reason.
I'm sitting in the middle of the canoe.
We don't want anybody to catch us with this canoe. And I was going pretty fast, but the front or back or whatever, I don't know what the front end of a canoe is, but it catches a mailbox going down the road and almost spins off the back.
I did. I went off the back of this truck going 60 mile an hour in a canoe. and for some reason, I stayed up. That's how good of a canoe guy I am.
Oh, man. It's the bow.
The rest of it.
Bow.
Bow stern.
The canoe ended up in the hayloft of my barn. And a year later,
It's still there.
no, a year later, Jaden, my oldest grandson, Jaden comes out there. We're working some horses, trying to get ready for the rodeo. Jaden comes and he says, Papa Bronc, how come you have a canoe in your hayloft?
Oh, he's called it a boat. He said, why is there a boat in the hayloft?
I thought he's talking about a little plastic boat kids play with. I said, one of you kids probably left it up there. He said, no, it's a big boat. Well, I didn't know what he's talking about, but I finally go crawl up and look in my hayloft, and here's this 25-foot canoe.
And I wrecked off the truck going 60 mile an hour and lived.
The best part was another year, Mom put that canoe on a float for the
I was
parade.
in the church. It was on the church.
Yeah,
float.
and you were announcing it.
They put that canoe on a float that said, "Thou shalt not steal." Abbyville Community Church.
And the whole awkward part about this, the guy that owned the camp and had all the canoes had no idea it was even gone. And he was there and he's like, is that one of our canoes?
And for the record,
Maybe.
I gave that canoe back to them lying little bitches. That's a whole thing.
No, get into it. Let's get into it.
He did give it back.
Well, what happened was my dad sent horses down to the Girl Scout camp, and some of them bucked, but you didn't send horses that you knew bucked down there. You sent horses because we had to have 30 horses, so there were some that needed a little ride, and it wasn't like he sent a bronc down there, but sometimes young girls would be bucked off at the Girl Scout camp.
Or just fall off.
Yeah. So when one would get bucked off, Dad would send Ty or me or Jeff to go ride these horses and, make sure they didn't buck and whatever. So I go down there. This is how the whole deal started. He sent me down there, and they said this blue horse was Charlie Wagler's. But
You're missing a lot.
well, what?
They sent you down there and he was at his bronc riding weight. He was in college still getting on broncs. And
Yeah, it wasn't.
he showed up at his Girl Scout camp, duded out, fixing to top one off and be the hero.
Oh, yeah. Show off for all the
Yeah.
13-year-old girls.
I had to ride all the wealth off of him for you.
I fixing to party like Wade Sundale. Dude, I was good.
He was humble, too.
I'm fat. So I get down there, and the lady,
A lot of people stay on with a nightlight.
she says, "Hey, this horse bucked," and so I said, "I'll get on him, make sure nothing's a problem." So I go to get on this horse, and the gal says, "Hey, you got to put on a helmet." I said, "Ma'am, let me tell you something.
This is where I went south.
I'm like a rock star. I don't ever use protection."
Oh, boy.
She said, well, for insurance reasons, you have to put on a helmet.
And
He
for the
goes, I ain't wearing
record,
no damn helmet.
I never wore a protect vest when I rode broncs, did I?
No.
No. So I never really
They
wore
didn't have
protection.
them then.
Well, yeah, they did.
Either way.
Anyhow, so she said, "You got to put on the helmet or you can't get on the horse." I said, "Ma'am, you don't know this, but I'm a 2-time state champion bronc rider." And I said, "I made the college finals in saddle bronc riding. I know what I'm doing." I get on this horse, and this dude blows up in the air and throws me about 20 foot, and I land in a fiberglass feed bunk and damn near die.
It was antique fiberglass. It wasn't a nice one.
When I land, it about knocks me out, and then this gal that I had the problem with gets right in my face and points at me and just laughing at me. And that's where the whole Girl
Well,
Scout.
it was funny.
The funniest part was all the little Girl Scouts with their first aid kits that come to pick all the fiberglass out of the back of his head.
Well, those Girl Scouts were not nice. They were not friendly. I would think that Girl Scouts would be friendlier than they were, because I hit pretty hard. And so that's how, like, we got this beef when I'm like, you know what, you girls want to make fun of me? I'll steal your canoe. You know?
You showed them.
So there's that.
Yeah.
That's a whole different story. But back to the Abbyville Rodeo.
We derailed.
One of the big deals too, the Abbyville
This is all
Rodeo.
stuff that happened during rodeo week.
Yeah, it all ties back to Abbyville. That's the Abbyville episode.
Everybody talks about the Abbyville pie.
Abbyville Rodeo.
We don't have a concession per se, as we have all these old farm ladies that make pies. It's like a huge deal. They donate
which are the best pies ever.
They really are.
They
Because
are.
Those pies won the best ground award in the WPRA like 3 years.
Yeah.
It won Prairie Circuit Small Rodeo of the Year solely because of the pies.
Solely because Bert and Mildred.
It wasn't. I mean, it's a good rodeo. Don't get me wrong, but it was like, man, that rodeo is so badass. Everybody voted on it. I was like, oh, that's the place with all the pies.
See, that's it too. You know, and these little rodeos. Sorry to cut you off again, Rump, on your story, but that's, you know, like Sydney. I'm a Harry Vole. So when Harry and Mike were together, you know, he was at Sydney for a few times, and when I got to be around him at Prescott, you know, before Harry passed away, and he told me every year, Sydney, Iowa had the best fresh tomatoes and corn at the church stand. You know, he'd always remember that, and that's everybody. You know, everybody talks about the sweet corn. You know, it's kind of one of those things. But like you said there, the pies.
Just to kind of expand on that, I think that's something that's kind of lost in rodeo now. Like, so many people are in and out of those places. Like, they're there, they go to the perf, and they're gone. Like, you know, when you go places and there's hospitality and they make you feel welcome, like, that's really cool. But now, like, contestants don't really get to experience the charm of a lot of these little rodeos or even big rodeos, like, just because you're so busy. And I think that's the cool thing about Abbyville. You know, you show up, you get a ticket to the barbecue, you get a ticket to the concession stand, and homemade pies. Like, they're not from Walmart, they're not from a box. Like, they were in someone's kitchen. Like, just the whole deal, the whole charm is something I think that gets lost, and that's what makes Abbyville so unique.
And that's what makes agreed. And there's multitudes of other small rodeos out there that I implore people to go and one, support your local rodeo, right? Support local. You know, these towns, I mean, it gives them something. It's like most small towns, it is the biggest thing by far that happens in that town. But if we stop supporting it and we go to, you know, Hutchinson or Wichita or, you know, Omaha and just go to a concert, or instead of that rodeo, I mean, they're going to go away. But tell me one thing. Is there a rhubarb pie? Does anybody make a rhubarb pie? Because a blueberry rhubarb pie is the greatest pie.
I'm pretty sure Kate Rumford made strawberry rhubarb.
What is rhubarb?
I think
rhubarb is a plant.
Like strawberry, there's a rhubarb, and then there's a strawberry rhubarb.
Oh my!
You just show up, Hambone.
But
you're missing
Mama Kate, come on.
But here's the deal that's also cool about the pies. Okay, so the same people have been doing the same thing in different areas for the whole time. Like the guy that ran the parade, Gordon Ealing, who lived literally 20 foot from here. Gordon ran the parade forever. His grandkids are running it, and all their children are coming back. Dean Dellenbaugh, Uncle Dean, who is an uncle to me, a great uncle, he ran the barbecue. Josh Dellenbaugh does the barbecue now. So
that's awesome.
So all the people,
it's everybody. It's the ticket takers. It's the concession stand. They do a ham and bean lunch, and it's the same families. Like
Stephen, who's one of our main.
Stephen.
Stephen, the Canoe family's involved because he's married to Jeff Welker's daughter, and Jeff Welker's one of the main guys. So, like, all the people in the community, like.
But even Stephen, like, his grandpa owns the land where the contestants park. Like, you know, he lets the contestants park. That could be wheat field that quick, but he doesn't, you know, work it and use it because that's where the contestants park. Like,
yeah, and that's the great thing, you know. And Sydney used to have the Shaw family used to do the hospitality for years, and they actually planted the sweet corn. They had a special field for the rodeo sweet corn, and And then, it's probably like that there. They had the same guy. We had old Myron Littner and he was on the rodeo committee, but he was in charge of putting the lights in the grandstands. That was his job. Everybody, and every year they came out, and that was it didn't matter what you were doing. You had to get out of their way to get that job done.
Yeah.
Or washing the fence or painting the fence or something, everybody, but that's the uniqueness of a small rodeo, small town rodeo. Is that
it
unique?
really is a good rodeo. When you look at the list, we got Blaine Kaufman, which is a local boy, but Blaine's done great things in pro rodeo, and won Greeley, Colorado, won several the big pro rodeos, been to the Ram finals,
numerous circuit titles.
Proctor's up, Jewel Hazen, Drew Miller, Ty's entered. Like if you look at all the good people that are coming, the Bronc. Oh, man, who we got? Bronc. We got a lot
Hardy
of
Braden.
Hardy Braden, yeah,
NFR Bronc rider.
Yeah, so like
and that's the cool part is those people that like that come back. They've been coming for years. Like they were here when they weren't. They didn't have all those accomplishments. Like if you get, you get those people, they come back. Like they put it on their list. Oh, that's Abbyville. Like they don't miss it.
We got a lot of really good. We have breakaway this year, which we have Jackie Crawford. We got like everybody in the top 15 to breakaway, which is pretty cool. And after being at Corpus Christi at the WCRA, that's pretty cool to see how cool the breakaway run was, because in the short round, really, the breakaway was probably the best event.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
With Madison here and everybody. So we got those gals. We got breakaway in the perf, which is pretty cool. So Nick Sartain, my man, he's coming. Yeah,
Nick's a dude. Nick's just a dude. I love Nick, and that's awesome.
Hometown boy, Jake Welker, fighting bulls.
I think maybe I'll call the committee and I'll just come do the sound there for free.
I think we have our sound man here with us.
I know. That's why I said that.
Rem, how do you get down to him being the bulldog and in the perf?
Yep, I think I'm gonna come do it for free. Remington, you won't mind. It'll be okay. You'll be fine.
But yeah, we got actually.
If you can do it for anybody, at least I lose it to you.
we got a great group.
I don't want to work if I come to Abbyville. I'm going to come be Bronc's assistant.
You do not want to be Bronc's assistant. That would be the worst job ever. Well, another thing about Abbyville, we have like the yearly thing. We have the Miss Little Britches and the Uncle Sam, and
the first time in the history of the Abbeville Rodeo that there was a tie in the voting for Miss Little Britches.
Now, Little Britches, is that like short shorts or?
No. It's not how it sounds.
It would be like the Little Miss, like a little rodeo queen.
Oh, kids. Oh, good. Well, now I feel like a perv, but I didn't know if it was like, those Utah rodeos that have queens and you have to sit
there. No, it's not.
Have a bikini contest and everything.
No.
Come on, baby. Kick the
Anyhow, back to there was a tie this year, and Lola and Livy tied. So that they're going to be
perfect. That's the way it should be.
And Uncle Sam, who dresses up as Uncle Sam, is Bandy.
Oh, perfect.
So
that's outstanding.
And Bandy's excited because he's going to enter the mutton busting
and win $100, up to $100.
Oh, is that you're putting up the 100?
So in like everything Abbyville, it's all tradition. It's all handed down.
We've all been Uncle Sam.
Yeah, the Uncle Sam suit is the same suit that you wore and Uncle Tommy wore. Like
I love it. That's outstanding. I love it. I think maybe I got the weekend off. Maybe I'll come to Abbyville.
You should.
That would be fun.
So yeah, it's a great rodeo with a lot of tradition, and in the days of rural America kind of dying off, it's just good to have a rodeo like Abbyville that has the rural population come together to have some fun. Last year when COVID hit, they had to cancel in May, where we've always been, and they had it July 3rd and 4th, and they had the biggest crowds they've ever had. So, this is a great rodeo community and a great farming community, and it's a bunch of people that have always been there. And And as long as we can keep these traditions alive, you know, in rural America, I feel like it's something we need to do because, man, we can't let small town America go away with any rodeo, whether it be in Abbyville or Utah or Northern California. So to be a part of Abbyville Rodeo, I haven't been here since 2012 because I've had a little chip on my shoulder because sometimes people around here, it's like the old saying, you're always 17 in your hometown.
Oh, 100%. I know exactly what you're talking about.
So I'm coming back to Abbyville this year. My dad said he's going to make sure everybody's nice to me. I got my brother here.
I'm not going to be nice.
Yeah, I told one of the committee guys in city one time, they hired the guy that they had, Ben Bindley. They hired him back another year, and they're like, oh, you know, well, maybe next year. And I'm like, oh, perfect. I said, I get it. No problem. Maybe you guys can come hear what I do at Denver this year if you want to come by. You know, like I can't do Sydney, Iowa, but I can do Denver, you know, but yeah, I mean, and everything works out for a reason, but, and that was just the cockiness of a very young, stupid ham bone. But, yeah, I totally get that, but I agree with you. It's so important because we get to see it on so many different levels and we're part of it. Abbyville, Sydney, I get it. And we get it, but I'm telling you, people, please, like if there's a small show, whether it's 50 miles away, you know, yeah, you could go, you know, see Parker McCollum or I don't know, Brooks and Dunn. I don't know, somebody, you know, you could go spend, you know, your money there, but nothing is better than a good small town, hometown feel rodeo where you could go get a pie, you know, from the local ladies, or, you know, you can get a funnel cake or something. There's just a rodeo's atmosphere is really awesome on all levels, but especially those small town rodeos. There's a lot of care and a lot of work that goes into it. And I really push everybody to really support, you know, your local small town rodeo.
One more thing,
you have one by
their money goes back in the community through scholarships. So it's not like if they have a huge crowd that all the farmers are sitting around handing out hundreds. I mean, it's going back to the youth. So as many places, it's not just, we're not trying to, let's make some money, you know? So
honestly, you know, a lot of them
share.
Yeah. Well, if they, you know, I mean, the expensive contract personnel they've got in Abbyville, they probably make some money, but, you know, you know, a lot of these rodeos, they make enough to put on a rodeo the next year.
Yeah.
You know, they know what their bottom line is to put on a rodeo. And once they hit that, you know, they may make enough money to, you know, well, by God, we'll put a new roof on the concession stand this year.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a big project. But so anyway, that's my 2 cents on it. It's the tits, small town rodeos.
I love
just
that.
remember, if you want to ride a horse, I won't say no.
Oh my God.
I got Tom and Justin and Ram to help me. And I can always borrow Morgan's horse.
And so next week we're going to have an Abbyville Rodeo wrap up live from the Hilton House in San Angelo, Texas. So
yeah, I just found out. Just you're coming by. That's awesome.
Yeah. We got some big things coming up with RümpChät. We're pretty excited about. Rob Smets is going to come on in the next couple episodes. I don't know when, but he's going to talk about the old days of really fighting bulls.
Well, and we really need to get Justin McKee on, and I need to hit the record button.
Yeah. Justin McKee, we got to get him on. We also have Ned Ledoux is going to come on. So sometime, I don't know when, but he's committed to it. He told Fergie that he'd go on. So
okay, yeah, that's the first I've heard of it. Oh no, what you told me earlier today. I don't remember.
Ned wants to come on, so we got to have Corb Lund back on. Corb's awesome. Great.
Well, and Bronco, I don't know. We talked. We got some Bronco, but you know, we can always have Bronc on. Bronc, we really appreciate you taking the time from. I'm sure you've got, you know, 50 head of horses to go feed and, you know, brush out and bathe, and
we leave them saddled all week.
You leave them like team roping steers. Keep the rags on them, boys.
This is the Kansas Cotton roster right here.
He is. He's the Cotton Rosser of the Plains. of the prairie. Well, Bronco, what do you have a memory that stands out about your hometown rodeo there in Abbyville? Do you have something that, just maybe a story or something that happened to you, or a tradition there that, maybe share with the listeners?
Oh, yeah. One of my favorite things for years is my mom would announce the parade.
Oh, outstanding.
Now, y'all know RümpChät here, and you think he's funny, but my mom, I think a lot of that is where he gets his humor from, is my mom. But two things happened in the parade over the years that's probably my favorite memory, besides the preacher bucking his hair off.
That's a good
my mom was announcing the parade, and we have a local group of guys that have a bunch of old antique cars, and they come driving them through, and my mom, she introduces them, and this is so and so, and boy, they got these old cars, and she says, and I can't tell y'all how much fun we used to have in the back seat of those old cars.
There's been a lot of love made in the back seat of that old car.
Yeah, there's been a lot of love made in the back seat of that old car.
Not for my grandma.
Grandma Lola.
That was one of them. Then my other one in the parade, my mom, Kelly Griffin, PRCA bull rider for several years, great guy, good friend. Kelly's always at the rodeo. Well, he rode Susan Bergkamp's mule, Gussie, and he rode that mule in the parade, and Kelly come riding that in front of the review stand there, and my mom, she looked out, and she said, I tell you, she said, that's Kelly Griffin, but just looking, I can't really tell which one's the jackass. So anyhow, that's two good memories I had. And then, of course, my dad, when he rode the bareback horse, that was good. And the year, I guess one of my favorite memories, the year I missed the perf. So there's my 4 favorite memories of the rodeo.
Well, I look forward to being off microphone so I can hear the whole story of that, and because it had to be pretty damn entertaining if you missed a perf at your hometown rodeo where your dad was the stock contractor. I'm just saying.
You'll never know.
God bless you. But well, thank you guys. Thanks, Ty, for the Wi-Fi, and thanks for coming on. One other thing, just get us a couple things. Bronc, when you work, you get, you sweat and it's a little warm, whatever. But to stay fresh and clean, did you guys know that Manscaped now has a freshener where it can keep your gentleman clean and fresh just about any time? All just a couple of sprays.
Bronx never shaved his balls.
Well, I think he ought to use your trimmer. It's a lawnmower. It literally, Bronc, you can press it right up against the fellas, against the berries, and it won't cut you. I mean, it's unbelievable. And if you use code RUMPCHAT20, you get free shipping and 20% off. And the only thing I can suggest is keep it out of reach of children, because your 1.5-year-old son will shave his head. Mine did. Gus, I was calling him pube head for a while, and Whit's like, why are you calling him that? And I'm like, Whit, it was my
Lock up your Manscaped tools when you're not.
It was my Manscaped trimmer, and she finally registered with her. God bless her. But yeah. But anyway, yeah. So the Manscaped Fresh Cologne, it's good stuff. And we want to thank Gold Buckle Beer. Obviously, cheers, everybody. Cheers to Abbyville and the Double Bar R.
Double R forever, baby.
That's right. That is the Rumford family brand, Rumford Rodeo. It's just so cool to hear those old stories, and especially the parade stuff. I remember it wasn't too long ago in Sydney's parade that it lasted literally like 8 minutes, and it was so sad. I wanted to cry, but I mean, if you got a business, enter it up. What is it? Maybe $50 to put a float in the parade? Promote your business. It's a tax write-off.
Yeah, it's free.
And if you win,
Oh, it's free. All right, there is no entry fee, I guess.
Yeah, if you win, you get $100.
I see. There you go. There you go. So enter up.
I want to end it with this too, Hambone. The Rumford Rodeo Company, while we may not put on rodeos like we formerly have, Rumford Rodeo is like Hotel California. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave.
That's right. Well, amen to that. Well, we love the Rumford family. Obviously, I do. Y'all are my family.
Baby. What?
There it is. Show it. I can't see it. We can't see it. No, pull it up. You get your baby shirt off. Where do you shop at the Baby Gap? We still can't. We still can't see it. We can't see it. It's covered up. We can't see it. There it is. There it is. Look at that.
Shut up, everybody.
You're so cool. Anyway, thank you again, Bronco. We love you. We'll have you on again. Thanks, Ty. Thanks, RümpChät Nation.
Come to the Abbyville Rodeo.
Abbyville Rodeo. Hey, how do you get tickets to Abbyville Rodeo if people are in the area?
Just call me for a ticket. I never say no.
We implore you to buy one, but maybe Bronc's
kind of the old-fashioned way. You show up and go to the ticket booth.
Yeah, just show up.
The ticket booth.
Go take it.
Go just Abbyville, Kansas. Okay, what time is it? Tell us the perf times and everything.
8 o'clock Friday night, 8 o'clock Saturday night. The parade's at 4:30 Saturday afternoon. Barbecue starts immediately after the parade's over. Saturday. Tickets, I think, I'm not even sure what ticket prices are, $12 or $15.
Cheap.
And they're good for either night. And so we'll have a great little opening. New Frontier brings some, fabulous stock. Got fabulous contestants. Great atmosphere. You will have some fun.
That's perfect. Yeah, actually, there is. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, all right. Abbyville Frontier Days and PRCA Rodeo is on Facebook. Tickets are good either night. 12 and under get in free both nights. That's awesome. Free 12 and under. Advanced admission tickets $10 at the gate. $12. Are you effing kidding me? You can't buy a Whataburger lunch for less than $12 almost. I mean, seriously, and you can take it, and seriously, a parents and two kids under 12 can get in can go for $24 and get and I mean the clown's okay, but seriously, barbecue is separate purchase. Advanced barbecue tickets $7 at the gate, $8. Advanced ticket outlets A5 Western in Hutchinson, Farmers Co-op in Abbyville, the Village Place in Arlington, Central Prairie Co-op in Sterling, Yoder Auto Center in Yoder. All right, there you go, everybody. Buy your tickets. 7 o'clock Mutton Bustin', 8 o'clock Perf. That's on Friday. Saturday, 8:30 a.m. Goat roping. There's a goat roping.
Yep.
Damn.
Goat roping at 8:30. Ranch Rodeo.
Ranch Rodeo's at noon.
4:30
parade on Main Street. 5:30 gates open for the bar, and the barbecue starts. 6 o'clock Mutton Bustin'. Sign up starts. First 30 kids under 60 pounds. All right, and then 7 o'clock Mutton Bustin'. 8 o'clock PRCA performance. Oh, and 10:30 a.m. Sunday. There's Cowboy Church.
Yep.
Don't forget that.
After party at Ty Rumford's house. What?
Yeah, where is the after party? Is it at Ty's house?
To the wall. Right here.
To the Manscaped clone drips off my balls. Right? So what's your address, Ty?
19201 West Blanchard, Abbyville, Kansas.
You heard it here, folks. All right, y'all. RümpChät Nation, we love you. We will see you soon. Rumford family, we love you guys. We will talk to y'all later. Have a good time this weekend. Kick some ass, Remington. Don't suck. All right. We'll see y'all later.